A very good morning, students. This is the computer video for chapter number 3, and I'm here, your computer teacher, Megha Narayan. So, let's start learning this chapter. This chapter is actually divided into two parts. There are two videos for this chapter. This is part 1, while there will be part 2 as well. You are supposed to check in both of them so that you can understand this chapter properly. The name of this chapter is Advanced Formula and Functions in MS Excel 2007. In this chapter, we would be working on MS Excel and will be learning various sort of advanced formulas and at the same time understanding the concept of function and also how to use it and what are the type of functions. So let's start. Whenever we are copying a formula from one cell to the another, is there any change? This is the very first question for you people. In class 7th, you have already learned that whenever we are writing a formula and that formula is copied from one cell to the another, there lies few changes. Kindly, everyone is supposed to analyze it. There are changes. Now, these changes that you have just analyzed, what is it? So there is a term known as cell referencing. What is it? Cell referencing. In this cell referencing, now cell referencing is actually the term which help us to identify the change in the behavior of cell address when a formula is copied from one cell to the another. Whenever you are copying a formula from one cell to another, I have just told you a moment back that there are few changes. What are there? There are few changes. Self-referencing is that term which help us to identify the change in the behavior. Whenever you are copying formula from one cell to another, the changes that are involved, how to identify? The term is self-referencing. What is it? Self-referencing. In simple words, you can summarize this self-referencing as I copied my formula from one cell to another. Now there are few changes. I can use cell referencing to identify what are those changes. Understood? Now here we are moving towards the next topic. In the same particular chapter, you had to learn various sort of referencing, types of referencing. Cell referencing, what it is actually, I have already told you. Now in MS Excel, there are actually three type of referencing. Relative referencing, absolute referencing, and mixed referencing. We will move to them also, but before that, let us talk about the MS Excel stuff. Every cell in MS Excel is made up of a column and a row, which together forms a cell address, or you can say the address of a cell. Now, in these particular cell addresses, there lies these three sort of referencing. Here the content is written, but I will be teaching you each one of them in detail with examples. But still, we had to have a quick reading of these three lines. The cell is called relative when both parts are not fixed. It is called absolute when both parts are fixed. And a cell is called mixed when only one of them is fixed. Didn't understood? No need to worry about it. Here I'm moving to the next and the very first referencing. This is the next slide teaching you the very first sort of referencing. A relative referencing is actually the default referencing. By default in MS Excel, you will find this referencing only. In order to understand it, just look only onto this screen. The MS Excel screenshot screen that you can see now. Look here. Hurry up. A1 having value 2. B1 having value 3. You are adding it together by a simple function. This particular is actually a formula. Right now we are not moving to functions now. We will learn that also. but this is actually a simple formula. A1 has a value 2, B1 has a value 3. We are adding it together using a very simple formula. Formula always start with equal to sign, and therefore the formula is written in the way like A1 plus B1. That means 2 plus 3. Answer you will get as 5. What you will get as the answer? 5. Now the same formula I am copying to another cell, such as like in this case. Same formula I have copied to another set of cells. Kindly watch. Look here carefully. The cell address is thus changed. Earlier it was A1 plus B1 in the formula. Now it is B3 C3 in the formula. There is a change in cell address when you copy the formula. Understood? Whenever you are copying formula from one cell to another, the change, you can easily see that change, which is actually the relative referencing. The change you can see, no? The one change you are observing here in cell address is actually relative referencing. What is it? Relative referencing. Why it is changed? Why these cell addresses, there lies a change? The answer is position of the cell is changing. Earlier it was A1, B1. Now you are copying the formula to another cell. The position of cell is changing to C1 and D3, like you can see in this box, C1 and D3. And therefore, the referencing also changed. In the same way here, C1 is having the answer. But in this example, D3 got the answer. Where is the formula written? In D3. Position of cell is changed. As the position is changed, referencing also changes. It is A1, B1 for C1, but it is B3, C3 for D3. Change in cell address is relative referencing. It is a default referencing. By default, you can only find this referencing in MS Excel. In this case, kindly watch carefully. None of the cell address, none of the part is fixed, not even a single. A1 changed to B3, B1 changed to C3, and even C1 changed to D3. If you are putting the data and getting answer here, if you copy it to another cell, cell address will change automatically. This is relative referencing. Moving up now to second sort of referencing, that is absolute referencing. In this, everything is fixed. There is no change in cell address. Earlier in relative, is change. There are changes. There is a change. Understood? There is actually a change in the cell address, in the pointer. But in this case, everything you can say is fixed. In absolute referencing, how you are fixing up everything, the best answer is written in the box, even highlighted and underlined by using dollar sign. The sign that you can see now is actually used to keep a row or a column constant. Constant means no change at all. How I'm using it? Using this formula, starting every time with equal to, dollar is written for A. That means this particular A column will be kept constant. It will remain fixed. There will be no change. Then dollar is again used for B column as well. Understood? So whenever you are using it, like this dollar, you are using in this particular format, this cell will remain constant and so do this one also. Both of them will remain constant at the same time. A1, 2, B1, 3, A1, 2, B1, 3 added getting as the output as 5. Even if you are copying the formula and writing here, then also the answer will be 5. Nothing will be changed. You have copied, but nothing is changed. Answer is absolute referencing. How to do? always put dollar sign. To have a row or a column or both constant means no change. Third sort of referencing is mixed. Name is itself telling you the entire story here. Mixed means relative as well as the absolute reference added together or merged together. You can find both of them. One part will be fixed, another part is not at all fixed. Now look here. It is using dollar sign, dollar $A1, dollar $B1 like that. You have used this as a formula. Now whenever you are copying this particular one, C1, no, copy to another cell. Let it be D3 in this case. This is C1. You copied it to another cell like D3. Okay. Then what will happen? From 1, it will change to 3. But the column reference remains the same. A and B will remain same. Why? Because here dollar you have used. Before A, you have used dollar. But this A1 will now become A3. B will become B3. Why? Because dollar is not there before 1. Can you see dollar before 1? No. Only column is fixed. In this case also only column is fixed. Column will not change. But these particular addresses can change. One is not fixed here. A1 is written in that way. Dollar is just used before the column. So that's why it is not fixed. Only column will remain fixed. While the value changes and will become dollar $A3 plus dollar $B3. These are three sort of referencing that I have just taught you. Now we are moving to the next topic, that is function. In our day-to-day life, we are supposed to use many number of formulas. Okay. When you are adding two numbers, it is easy to add them using a formula. Imagine you are having 200 numbers to be added together. What you need? Function you need. Function is simply the predefined commands. Look here, second line. They are the predefined commands that help you to evaluate, that help you to calculate out your particular calculations easily. You are not supposed to write all 200 cell addresses one by one or to select those cell addresses one by one. Simply use function. It is a very time saving tool. Now we have to see here. There are various functions available in MS Excel that can apply on a single cell or a complete group of cells, range of cells, and will provide you quick output. And here are those names like AutoSum, recently used, financial, logical, text, date and time, lookup, references, math, and trig. Trig is for trigonometry functions, advanced math, and others. Others also you can get, such as like cube, cube roots, etc. So here I am moving to this detailing topic like what is function made of. Function is made up of two things, function name, argument. Function name is here written as look onto this example. Name of function is sum. Understood? Argument here are numbers. Number 1, number 2. Both are the arguments. Want to add two numbers? Write here equals to. Then write here sum, which is the name of a function. And later you can put here the argument. That is the number itself which you want to add. Now, there are various functions given in your syllabus starting from the sum we are moving. Simple as that. Sum allows us to add numbers. Here colon is used. Kindly watch this carefully. That means from A1 till A6 number will be added. This colon is used to represent the range, the group of the cells together. From A1 till A6, the numbers will be selected and added and giving you output in this case as 77. Same example is even provided in your books. You can take a reference of that as well. Understood? First function is to add numbers. How can you do? By simply writing this as a format. Okay, this is the syntax. Syntax means the particular format, the rule of writing anything. Here, this is the rule for writing the function. Equals to name of the function, that is sum, and then write the argument, that is a1. Start from a1 and keep adding till, this is showing you the range, till a6, giving you output as 77. Second is average, help you to calculate out the average of the number of the cell. Same way you can write, just change the name of the particular function. Earlier it was sum, now it will be average. Writing here with a1, colon, or you can say range, a6, providing you output of 17. Next is count number. Kindly note, this function is used only to count numerical values, numbers. It will only count the numbers. Understood? So in this example, it will be counting only the numbers of the particular range. Like if I am giving the count from A1 to A6, it will count only those cells which are having numbers. This particular text will not be counted. How many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So therefore, the answer will be here as 5. So this was the function to count the numbers. Next is max, helping you to find the largest value in the cell range and will give you the output as the largest number. If I'm having this much cell range to be selected for the calculation, I will be using this function to process out the largest number. Which is the largest number here? 79. Once I did it, I'm writing the correct function starting with equal to max for this function of maximum and selecting the range of the cells. I will have the correct output as 79. Now, what is opposite of max or maximum? Answer is minimum, correct? So here is your next function. Use to find the smallest value in the cell range. All the things are same. The name of the function is changed. Earlier it was max, now it is min. We'll select the data from the cell range and will give you the lowest possible number. Here lowest possible number is 21. Understood? So these all were the simple particular functions. Now let's move to one advanced function, and this is the last function given in your syllabus, named as if function. This is a conditional function. Will provide you value true or false manner as an output. It will be providing you the value in true and false manners. Didn't understood? Let's learn it. Before that, read the syntax. If is the name of the function. In that, there are three things. First of all, write the condition. Then write the value of true and then write the value of false. Like in this cell range, I am putting a condition. If A1, this is A1, if A1 is greater than 30, print 40. If A1 is not greater than 30, that means false condition, then print 75. That simply means if A1 in this case, the given condition, if A1 will be greater than 30, like 67 is greater than 30, true value will be printed, 40 will be printed. If that is not possible, value is not greater than 30, 75 will be printed. So in this way, if function is used, providing you the value of the conditional function. This is actually known as conditional function. It follows a condition, and onto that base only, it will be giving you the value either true or false. If it is true, first value printed. If it is false, it will be printing the second value provided. Understood? So this was all about the function as well as the referencing. Kindly keep reading the content given in your book and check out the second video as well so that you can understand this chapter properly. All right. So thank you.